wearing bright colors, fancy clothes, larger than life. April's moment.
You cannot mention Uganda's top comedians and miss listing Pablo among the top 3. And on his jokes we have laughed and loved him. However, behind the brain that makes us wash away our pain, stress and even troubles is a heart that hides the pain of lost both parents and siblings to HIV/AIDS. He was only 10 when his father died of AIDS-related sicknesses, followed by his mother, and 5 years later 4 of his 9 siblings followed still from the same illness. At Tangaza Arts in Makerere Chikumi, Pablo'S opened a center to train young people, including those living with HIV, in different skills. On a mildy sunny Monday afternoon, the popular comedian gave us a sneak peek into his dramatic life.
I was born in Mbale Hospital at the time. My mother was the district commissioner, and spent there just like a year or 2. Then we came back to Kololo, and that was on Awampeo Avenue. Where we stayed, my mother was working with the judiciary at the time. And then in 1988, when bad luck chose, my dad closed chapter in 1988. And that's when I started my transition from urban to rural. I tell you, rural urban is okay, but urban rural is crazy because there's a lot of cultural shock that you get to experience along the way. And but for me, I was lucky that I was taken up when my father died in 1988. We had been pampered, you know, we had been pampered. They used to drive us to school. We were from an affluent home, and everything was at our beck and call. We had a silver spoon in the mouth. And when my father died in 1988, it started our transition from grace to grass.
Even though he did not live with them for long, Chimuli talks about his parents with special fondness.
My father would tell you 3 stories in one. It's up to you to decide which one to follow. You know, that kind of thing. And I think I pick it from him. And I think he would think fast, he would speak faster than he would think, you know. And then he had a passion for rally cars. They call them, I think, pace setters. The guys who drive before the rally cars. That was him. He used to do it for the late Jim Edin and Frank Nekusa. He used to do it for Sam Sali and Eddie Crane's Kayua. So he was always there. I remember he had a Datsun, it was UWZ 902. And he was always there. He loved football. He was a KCC fan. He had these capes written on Kasasiro style. Every time there was a match and Nachivubo KCC is playing, I used to tag along, and that's how I got to meet the guys like Higenyi, the late Higenyi, Filippo Mondi. And on the other side, my mom was laid back. She was an academician. She was very passionate about books. But she loved laughing. She loved laughing extremely. Her laughter was so loud. She was so blessed she couldn't contain it.
In the days when his father succumbed to HIV, the disease was shrouded in mystery. It took him a while to know that it was the dreaded pandemic that had stolen his beloved mother and father.
When my father died in 88, I never got to know what killed him because I was young. But again, nobody was willing to tell us, you know. They said, you know, he had a headache, he closed the chapter. And we also closed that chapter. But then, I later got to know in the early 90s, one of my aunties told me that, look here, you know, I think she noticed that I was a little bit naughty and said, hey guy, if you continue like this, you're going to follow your father's footsteps, you're going to get HIV. And that's when I realized that, he had died. He had succumbed to the scourge.
Little remains of Pablo'S parents' legacy, but his mother's final words will always remain with him.
She calls me to her deathbed and says, look here, my son, I think the party is over, I'm done with you. But I just need you to respect your uncle. Respect your uncle. He's now your new father. He's going to take care of you. Respect everyone regardless of their status and what they're doing. And for me, that's when I smelt a rat. That's when I smelt a rat.
The death of his dear ones from HIV left such a huge scar in his life.
For me, my parents' death, well, first of all, when I lost my sibling, the one who followed me, here's a girl who died a virgin. She was born with the virus, and she lived for only up to 14 years, and she died. So she died. She paid a price for something she had no idea about. She had a whole life ahead of her, but it was cut short, and it wasn't, there's no one to blame. I can't blame my parents, because at the time they also didn't know what they were doing. I mean, it was unexpected. And then my elder sibling, also one of them close, my two siblings also died. And for me it was, how come? Is this a generational curse? Is it a family curse? What's happening? And for me, what happened to me is, I realized that, you know what, we have to stand out, because this thing seems to be engulfing us. It's like an amoyo bar. And for me, I made a decision that, you know what, let's follow the script. Let's follow the script of what does it take to survive this scourge.